Any nigga that ever looked at me wrong, owes me money, or ever said any jealous bullshit about me is fucking dead.
Put bins in the break, then toss it back in the blender. That was us. Next to a big like I was a pup. Go to TV, Johnny and ice out the grave. I make these bitches sign contracts and write out their names.
The Butcher is back. It just seems like he's had his foot on the entire game's neck ever since he's been introduced to the general masses, I would say. You know, with the critically acclaimed TANA Talk 3 project. This project right here holds a special place in my heart just because this is the first time I got a taste of Griselda. I didn't know anything about these niggas. It was just amazing to me the way he was able to insert the game like this with this 2000s, late 90s boom bap sound. And then the content, shit. I'm pretty sure this album created some drug dealers. Since that time, we've heard Benny try different experiments with this sound on group and solo projects. Plugs I Met sounded like a sort of extension of TANA Talk 3 as far as production and content. Burden of Proof being the most experimental in Benny's discography, in my opinion. A project completely produced by Hit Boy, and the first time we really saw Benny with a star-studded features list. Collaborating with artists like Big Sean and Lil Wayne. Oh my god. And Plugs I Met too, we take a detour back to a second installment. A project I would say left a bad taste in my mouth, not as far as Benny, but as far as the production and the people he called, you know, for that helping hand. You know, I don't want to see Benny in French, which is why this is one of my most anticipated projects of 2022. I'm expecting Benny to go back to his grassroots, you know, because it also seems like this TANA Talk series is a precious jewel to him. This is his Carter series. This is his only built for Cuban links. This is his volume 4. They ain't come out with a volume 4, but you know. So going into this project, I'm trusting Benny to put forth a great effort, you know, that measures up to a TANA Talk 3 or is even better. We got Conway's debut project, God Don't Make Mistakes, last month, which is one of my favorite projects of the year so far. So Benny, I'm expecting nothing less from you. 12 songs, 40 minutes. Psst. If you look at this cover and you look at TANA Talk 3's cover, it does seem like it has some correlation. TANA Talk 3, he was a baby. TANA Talk 4, it seems like he's grown up a little bit more. With his two brothers beside him, I'm guessing one of them Machine Gun. Already when I look at the features, I already see that this is about to be something special. Just because you can already see he went back to his grassroots. He got Stove God Cooks on here. He got Boldy James. No French. Trust me, I don't mean to keep beating French over the head, but that verse was horrible. Benny the Butcher, TANA Talk 4. Johnny P's Caddy #1. I'm actually surprised this is #1. Having such a big artist as a big feature on your first record of your most anticipated project. I already heard the song though.
Physics. My ability to turn words to imagery. Probably the reason they gon' remember me. I put your favorite rapper neck in the loop. Never letting them loose.
I never actually gave y'all my thoughts on this track, but beautiful. From the smooth, overly sampled production to the content. When you actually break down Benny's verse without J. Cole on it, it really does seem like an intro track because he's telling you, you know, I'm here. He's already stating TANA Talk 4, this means a lot to me, which is bringing me back to my first point. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard. Already a great start. Listening back to this verse, it just seems like J. Cole is being sort of braggadocious, but he's also being a big brother. Where he's telling you, you know, the guns and the drug bars that y'all rely on, you know, don't do that. You know what I mean? He's telling you he's that nigga, but he's also being educational. As far as features goes, this is still my favorite J. Cole feature of the year. I'm expecting some more. Track 2, Back 2 Times, featuring Stove God Cooks.
I stamp that shit. Niggas trying to take my shit.
Is it me or it sound like this shit low as hell?
Mixed with Boldy James now with the pot 10. Don't compare me to no nigga that's not in the top 10. Don't do that. No, like we call it Grammy. I took orders cooking fancy in kitchens like Gordon Ramsay. Agents make sure I with white. On my hammer with ice. Connected like Joe Montana on rice. Scanners and lights.
Oh. Soon as we unload this printer, we right back, man. Have my shooter in the corner, I bet.
The way that Stove God raps, he raps so slow that you're just waiting for the punchline. All the kilos came stamped with balloons, it's time to party. We got a lot of this shit on Reasonable Drought.
The degrees is a brick in the vent. Stop.
Ooh.
We brought it back, man.
It's a brick in the vent. It's a brick in the vent.
Came back,
I like how he did that. Prototypical Benny on the first track, it seems like. You know, I'm glad Derringer's back. Damn, I'm looking at the producers list. He got the 3 Musketeers on here. Alchemist, Derringer, and Beat Butcher. That's it. Nobody else. A little bit of the signature flow from Benny. Great hook by Stove God. I didn't like the hook at first, but that bop, 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 that should be adding something for me. I love the concept of the record. You know, as soon as we drop off the load, we coming right back. back 2 times. I don't know, this could be me, but it seems like the mix was a little too low. Could be this cheap ass speaker though, you never know. Song 3, Super Plug.
You raw compressor, you might look at a new car, a watch, or a new loft as a few small investment.
Alchemist all day. You hear them dark keys in the background.
They hear the truth on the record. Since I blew more, the feds got threw off direction. I'm too smart to catch me in the 2 cars. They want my supplier, but he flew off to Texas. They identified.
Why are you telling them that?
Lords who got it in. It been known
This nigga in a pocket on this beat. Already off the 3rd track, I already see what this album is gonna be. It's gonna be measured up to TANA Talk 3. I'm not gonna say it's gonna measure up. It's already the same sound. He's already using the same cadences. He's already using, you know, the same imagery he's put forth on the first one. He's just reeling us into his life as a drug dealer. The thing that makes Benny so great as a drug rapper or a drug philosopher is that he seems like he's sort of glorifying the life, but he's not. You know, it's all trials and tribulations inside his bars. You know, drove back with my daughter in the whip. But he's also masking it as, I didn't always have a choice when it came to this. You know, this is something I was forced to do based on the environment I was in. I just want to know why Benny is always telling people where his plugs are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know it's been a little while since you've been in the game. You know, I don't know how long it's been. But bro, like, we don't like you don't think the Fed's gonna visit Texas now? I love the Dark Alchemist production with the keys in the background. Signature. I also like the hook from Benny. It was actually a good effort on his part, because sometimes, you know, when Benny does his hooks, it just seems like it's something that he pulled from his verse and then he just put it as a hook. Song 4, Weekends in the Perrys, featuring Boldy James.
It's crazy, I got after my city, they heard I got it. And my track record certainly show I deserve the homage. And they mad I'm back rapping about dope again, never mind it.
I ain't mad.
Then who gon' fit in my shoes? I'm living my truth. Sky is the only limit I knew. From drug dealing to music, I was best investment, but that's between me and you.
Always been that way.
No, he didn't say that. You didn't say that. I mean, he ain't lying. You can't disrespect Conway like that. What sample is this?
Betrayed by my silhouette. Mistakes just made to correct. How I deal with the fame made me get upset.
I never even knew you can have a raspy and soft voice at the same time. Gives you that nice medium between transparency and hardcore. Like,
Chasing the letter here. Ain't got a case to catch. David Blaine with the press. Came the dog and made it fetch. Whatever.
I feel like Benny is still struggling with leaving the dope game, as far as, you know, because he says things like, you know, the game that I left is the one that certified me. Boldy comes on the track and it just seems like he had a lot to get off his chest. He inserts fame and then references that, you know, he treats death the same way as he does fame. Like I always say, you can't beat Boldy on an Alchemist beat just because he flows so smoothly over it. You might get a little sample here, a little keys there, but it's not too much going on. Boldy James is the focus. A little different with Benny, just because Benny can switch up his flows here and there. Boldy give you the same shit every time. The way he raps, it just feels like he wants you to focus on what he's saying and how he's feeling. This is Benny's sound. Like, this is what I've wanted from Benny, you know, since TANA Talk 3, I would say. You know, Plugs I Met, like I said, it was an extension of TANA Talk 3, but I also feel like this is measuring up to that as far as production and just overall feel. Song 5, 10 More Crack Commandments, featuring Sean Combs.
Tell you like this.
The mixing just sounds so low though.
Make sure that you count the money. Singles and fives out of hundreds.
What?
Roll a dummy. Plug dog, that silly shit. I had to mention it since this one wasn't on Biggie list. He knew you have a hard time comprehending it.
No, he ain't doing this, bruh. Did I miss this? I feel like I missed some shit. This nigga giving us 10 more crack commandments. I mean, that is the title, but I wasn't even thinking of that shit. And I wasn't thinking that Diddy was on it, that it was going to be that. I can't even talk right now. I'm looking at this song totally different now.
I mean, they only appreciate how you eating, they eating beside you. You will work with a boss with a
I don't think y'all know how nostalgic this shit is for me right now. Like, first of all, I love Biggie. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody does. You know, probably not in my age group, but probably a little bit older. That's why I connect with old heads probably a little bit more. Like, this is paying homage at its finest.
Fuck all that spinning on clothes and tricking on hoes. Only buy shit that can be sold. Cause you gon' need the only ones round here rich. Get out the game. Rap niggas hope y'all don't get no ideas. You gotta live the way.
This is hard. This is hard. You know what would have made this song more nostalgic? If he actually got Primo on the beat. I don't even know what to say. Like, Benny really just stretched his pen on this record right here. Like, you can tell he was so invested in making this song good. I would definitely recommend this song for anybody moving weight at this point in time. You know, a lot of this shit on here, you might already know. Don't get me wrong, but you already knew the ones Biggie knew too. Put these in your notes. But when Benny raps, he goes against his own crack commandments. Like, he be telling you where his plug is and shit. That shit was crazy. Playlist, Tyson Vs Ali, featuring Conway the Machine.
Versus Ali. Everybody want to know who would be better, Tyson versus Ali. Yeah. They compare music so confusing. Y'all compare two niggas from the same movement. Only for y'all amusement. It's funny to me. Y'all do a leg rest. I made dope, re-rock, and stretch with a grand press. Made more than a man tech. Paying double for heads. The bigger the paper, the longer the conversation. Played in the streets with the locks, never come with no combination. If I let you get some money, don't fuck up the operate. Ain't no telling what other rapper she fucking, so I don't chase her. She down to do anything.
We don't do that.
This
shit reeling me in real good.
Tyson Vs Ali, to the legends, the
Conway, don't do it to us. Don't do it to us.
Ruin your thing. They try to pick you off, but that's really a moving screen. You and your team gon' see like 2 or 3 niggas. Westside Gunn, me and Benny, y'all looking at the illest 4 niggas that y'all seen in 10 years or more.
Hey, he's still going. Come on.
Screen like mocking, I put your breath in it. So we got, I said, F this list. Tyson Vs Ali.
Beautiful hook by Benny. Beautiful hook. I would give another round of applause, but I don't just want to be giving them joints out. You know what I'm saying? But I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments. But I do think this is the only time that Benny and Conway actually entertained this whole, this whole thing they try to put together with Conway and Benny beefing, and then they saying that Westside, you put more into Benny and don't put enough into Conway. That's bullshit. And I'm glad they was able to clear a lot of things up in this track right here, just as far as, where they stand as a duo. I like the reference he used too with Tyson Vs Ali, how they compare the legends to the legends. Benny just let Conway go. To me, it seemed like it was purposeful for Benny to have Conway have a longer verse on this track, because it seemed like he had more shit to get off. I'm actually proud and surprised at the same time, because I never really thought this day would come as far as them, being able to express themselves on record when it comes to each other. Playlist, Song 7, Uncle Ben featuring 38 Spesh.
Hey, yeah, Puerto Rico, landing on the East Coast, nigga, and now I'm driving cars with keyholes.
This beat. Oh shit, I said Uncle Ben. I ain't heard 38 Spesh like this.
And the scope focus quick, and the clip longer than the script from a motion pit.
Ooh.
I close the fit. Who cried for me when my relatives stole from me for a hit? Look.
Turn words to imagery. Probably the reason y'all gonna remember me. This song, it just goes along with that bar. It's like Benny just makes you see the duffel bag on the dirty floor, unzipped with the cocaine. The theme of this project is just Benny, him talking about him being in the game and now transitioning to where he is now. He's reminiscing about, the duffel bag on the floor. The 18 wheelers that he had to drive. I never heard 38 Spesh like this. He just seemed so into the verse. It's like, oh yeah, this about to be on TANA Talk 4. I need to lay down my best verse. And them just going back and forth. If I could put this into words, I would just say it's like they passing bricks to each other. Here you go. Like they playing hot potato with a brick. Benny is just leaving this whole life that he had behind him. He's bragging about what he did back in the day, but like I said before, he's in a new space now. I kind of bring it back to like Jay-Z's Black album. I'm not comparing him to Jay. Don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing them to Jay. I gotta clarify that. I'm just putting this album against the Black album just because, I'm getting retirement from Benny. Not retirement in the rap game, but retirement from the drug game. It's kind of scaring me though, because I want to hear Benny talk about drugs. I want to hear that, but it just seems like, he's more exiting that space. I know this project is full of it, but it just seems as if he's throwing everything into one project, trying to leave this behind him. Fire. Song 8, Thowys Revenge. Thowy.
That's the business with the game, nigga. I be fucking bitches in my chain. A couple killers I got tamed, nigga. Them the fundamentals of the game. Pad round, now a nigga only drive imports. Respect is something I can't earn for you, but loyalty I can return to you. You was there when it was done. Surviving on Dutchess and sandwiches.
What else?
Party, my shooters can cancel it. My label.
Can you beat trumpets? I don't think so. This beat is amazing.
They should want to take a nigga sat around waiting. Trying to do me and Al making who the sound take us down. Grading got a lockdown like a child safety locked back home. I'm like Warren Buffett or MOK. I
don't like that bar.
Successful for him all of a sudden. They gon' blame it on all of this money.
Benny is definitely paying homage to a lot of his predecessors right now. He's talking about all the people that lent him a helping hand as far as getting him to the point where he is now. But also putting the pressure on himself as far as saying, you know, I'm gonna make my own self a millionaire. Like, I don't need y'all niggas. The one thing about Benny, he's definitely gonna let you know that he cooked them chickens. You know what I mean? He took courses for this shit. It's more evident than ever that Benny is comfortable in his own skin as a rapper. He doesn't care that people says he talks about the same content. He's not giving any fuel to the fact that everybody says Benny's the best out of the group. And that's why I would say Benny is coming off as a humble figure. Song 9, Billy Joe Hill. Billy Joe.
Foolishly, it took a fake case and some more to get through to me. Streets know I'm activated, don't slack.
It's funny how Benny is saying that he never would have left that life if it wasn't for him getting that Fed case, if it wasn't for him getting in that type of trouble.
My house passing through like I catch you later, right? I'm driving fast shit. Nope. I won't sell another brick again till I learn sign language. On the first of the month, I started with a fresh hat. Then gave all my fiends rides to get their check. Temporary locals. I put 20 in a Toyota down in Tempe, Arizona. Rich shit, fucking fake.
Why are you telling them where the car is?
My eyes closed, cause this shit, I feel like I'm 99 hoes. I'm breaking records.
I like how he did that, cause you know in the last TANA talk he had 97 hove. I feel like 99 hove now, nigga.
Nobody cried when they killed Alpo. That's still on the phones talking work on your line. James Cash. They gave all my fiends rides to get their checks cashed.
Benny has to be the most considerate drug dealer of all time, cause I ain't taking my fiends to go get their checks cashed. I serve my next door neighbor, my auntie and stepdad. He's saying it like he's not proud of it though. It just seems like as if Benny was in love with the game. Like he was just in love with it. You know, every bar is about what he did in his past life. Like I want to know the statute of limitation on Benny's case. Like I really do want to know that, because if they put this record in court right now, they're going straight to Arizona. Benny just going over again how he was a super plug in his hood. Benny just giving us an insight of what he did to hustle for everything he's gotten. Drug Talk 101. If you want to be an expert at drug dealing, just turn this on. Song 10, Guerrero, featuring Westside Gunn.
We back, nigga. For the coke crying, I'm back in rap. Niggas know it's good night when it's showtime. Joe Pesci 38. My dog in the county on Echo Long with an iPhone.
I see what he doing here. I see it.
I was fast steady soon as the cops close. In the trap staring at my reflection.
I'm into the story right here.
For my niggas that I lost, I traded all to get back.
It's probably the first song on this project that's a little underwhelming for me, because it just seemed like the mixing is so low on this whole entire project. It's very dark and it's very, you know, but with this cheap ass speaker, I ain't getting that. Maybe I need to listen to this in the car. I thought Westside Gunn could have been positioned better in this track. It just seemed like he was just saying shit, you know, which Westside Gunn I feel does a lot, but it's usually some substance in what he's saying, you know, even if it's behind the boom, boom, boom. To sum up Benny's verse, if you didn't know anything about Benny, you would get a lot out of this verse right here. He's really summarizing everything in one verse. He's telling you who he is. You know, he's Scarface mixed with, damn, who he say? Just the way Benny is able to slip and slide off of these grungy, dark beats. When I listen back to this album, I feel like it's going to be hard for me to find a record where Benny is out of pocket. Benny also talking about the guys that he did work with back in the day. You know, free them. Don't know y'all, but on behalf of Benny, free y'all. Song 11, Bust a Brick, Nick.
I got a movie deal, but chillin', cause my real life like a book. Blue steel night for the trip, so in the wheelchair, it was hard to smile on my 36th birthday. Being honest, this could be karma I probably deserve in the first place. The shit I'm thinking
finally talking about it.
Your hood. I'm like 95 kg, nigga. I'm with the wolves, but me and City might get picked up for riding and got to the bulls. Unexpected. To calculate how long it's gonna take to get to your weapon. No love songs. I kept that figure deal to my plug. I'm still hustling. 10-year anniversary. Doing songs with bigger acts, and they tell me that's going industry. But look back at my history. For the past 5 years, it's like my status been tripling.
That's a shot at me. Not me, but people like me. I thought Benny went a little bit industry when he dropped the Burden of Proof project and followed up with the plugs I met too. I was like, man, like this isn't really your sound. Even though I did like Burden of Proof because of Hit Boy. I mean, Hit Boy is just amazing on the production. I also like Benny too, but it just seemed like he was going more in that direction. He was flying away from these type of beats right here. I apologize, Benny.
You will never win. How you gonna call me Hollywood bitch and you ain't never been? You know my
Who the hell been sneak dissing Benny? Anybody been sneak dissing other than Conway? Benny finally touches on the topic of when he got shot in Houston. You know, 36 when I was in a wheelchair. It didn't feel good. I know it didn't. But as soon as you start feeling sorry for him, you know, he flips the mattress right on your head and just says, you know, maybe it was karma. You know, maybe I deserve that shit. You know what I mean? All the shit I did back in the day, you know, I probably deserved this gunshot wound. That 95 kg and Rodman line was fucking stupid. He delivers this great line about how he became a legend, you know. He became a legend because of the money he had, but he said he don't want money no more. He want his credit. He also starts to go on about how he thinks the feds are still watching him. You know, I don't think this song is going to help your case, Benny, you know, if they are still watching you. That's also some of the best production on this project. I'm guessing that's Alchemist because all I hear is dark keys. It's just hard to find any gaps in Benny's flow on this project just because the beats are so tailor-made for him. Song 12, the outro, Mr. Chow Hall.
This TANA Talk 4, right?
Yeah, it is.
Want no credit for careers that I co-created. The deals I negotiated. Drug dealers I...
Why? Why is this beat so fucking crazy?
Stack a week. You brag about your whip, but how? That's the least. Split your down payment. I miss the cows on a Tuesday. They say West is the brains, and Benny is the star. Conway, the silliest with the balls. Well, I couldn't agree more, cause I'm on primetime TV first, and that's no disrespect at all. Shit, Conway taught me, made me a boss.
Okay.
And he what he saw, that's how he knew not to do that. They both rich, and I am too, so shit, that advice wasn't wrong.
Do what? Benny the Butcher. Great project. You know, it's a reason you're one of my favorite artists out here right now. Within this project, I was really impressed of how Benny's focused on staying true to who he is, because he essentially served up what Griselda fans were expecting from him. They were expecting another TANA Talk 3, and I feel like we got that. Even the aura between the two projects, it just seemed like when you stack these two albums against each other or stack them on top of each other, they can be one project just because of how cohesive it is. I feel like Benny did a great job than ever before of mixing his rapper life and his past life as a drug dealer and bringing it full circle, you know, molding them two worlds together. In this album, he talks about the trials and tribulations he had to go through as a drug dealer, with also teaching the youth, not the youth, but the niggas out there in the street that's still getting it moving. You got songs on here like 10 Crack Commandments, where he's actually being educational as a drug dealer. Songs like Super Plug, where he's glorifying the life, but also downgrading it. Him and Conway finally indulging the talking idea of Griselda breaking up, which I really still don't have an answer for. You know what I'm saying? Like it sound good. It sound great, but I still don't have an answer for if they broke up or they're going to break up in the future, you know, which really doesn't matter because they've already put a stamp on the underground culture. As far as the production, the Three Musketeers and Derringer, Beat Butcha and Alchemist, they couldn't have did a better job. To me, the formality of all the instrumentals were a little bit in the same area as far as sound. I think the only beat on here that was totally removed from the others as far as sound was Thowys Revenge. I think that's his name, Thowy. He also did a great job of carrying out the theme for this project, the whole TANA Talk series. The theme for me was pretty much Benny having to tug of war with his past self and his present self. You know, does he want to go back to drug dealing? Does he want to leave that behind? You know, does he love the rap industry or does he hate it? We definitely get a lot of bipolar activity masked into this project, you know, because he doesn't know, you know, if he likes the industry or not. It seems as if this project is Benny, you know, asking for his flowers, not begging for his flowers, but asking. And if you ask me, I'm showing up at the front door. You ain't even got to ask me twice. But yeah, man, that's it, man. Great project from Benny, man. I wasn't expecting nothing less. Y'all already know down below. Let me know what y'all think about this project. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate every sub. I appreciate every like. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. One more time, man. Benny the Butcher, TANA Talk 4. Great project. I'm Snoopi. We gone, man.